Citius, Altius, Fortius. These words in English translate to faster, higher, stronger. To be an Olympian, one must live by these words to be among the best in the world. Today, I'm going to talk about the history, the meaning, and the events associated with the Winter Olympic Games. The Olympic Games have millenniums of history from ancient Greek gods to present day. Over this extraordinarily long time period, the Games have dramatically developed and changed with long periods of non-existence. It all started back in 776 BC, where the ancient Greek gods tried to earn the title of victor, according to ancient Olympic Games. In the city of Olympia is where the first Olympic Games were played, hence where the Olympic name came from. The Games were all about wholesomeness and religion. All available men were entitled to participate. This was a time to show physical qualities and promote kindred. The Winter Olympic Games were not introduced until 1924, according to Chamonix's 1924. A man named Pierre de Coubertin strived to bring back into the Olympic Games sooner, but it wasn't until 1921 the International Olympic Committee gave its benefaction. Successfully, with over 10,000 spectators, the first Games took place in Chamonix, France. The first Games were also known as Winter Sports Week. As I mentioned, the Olympic Games have great meaning associated with them. Now I'm going to describe how that meaning was symbolized and represented. It was the Olympic founder Pierre de Coubertin who introduced the Olympic flag and symbol to signify the meaning of the Olympic Games as identified in the Olympic symbols. The Olympic symbols is one of the most recognizable symbols in all the world. The symbols consist of 5 interlocking rings. Each individual ring represents a continent. Although each ring is colored and mistakenly interpreted to represent a continent, the real representation of the 6 colors, blue, yellow, black, green, red, and white, is to mean all nations. This symbol is strictly regulated by the International Olympic Committee because of its meaning and popularity. The Olympic flag was introduced in 1914 in Paris at the Olympic Congress. It wasn't until 1920 in Belgium that the Olympic flag actually soared. The Olympic flag is the Olympic symbol represented on a white background, especially because of the First World War and the tensions that prevailed. Coubertin proposed a symbol of these rings to encourage world unity. The modern Games created universality and respect among the nations. Showing excellence and striving to be the greatest in the world is the objective for each of the Olympians. Now I'm going to describe what sports are associated with the current Winter Olympic Games. Today, the Winter Olympic Games can be divided into 7 categories, which include biathlon, bobsleigh, luge, curling, ice hockey, skating, and skiing. Biathlon. Participation during the history of the Olympic Winter Games indicates that biathlon has an ancestry in means of survival. The events originated in Scandinavia, where people hunted on skis. Biathlon as a sport was brought to the Olympic Winter Games in 1948. The sport tests an athlete's marksmanship with shooting targets in addition to endurance by cross-country skiing. Over the years, biathlon was turned into a multidisciplinary experience with men's, women, and relay events. In 1860, the winter sport bobsleighing was invited by the Swiss. As stated in bobsleigh, participation during the history of the Olympic Winter Games. Bobsleighing is when a team takes a toboggan and twists down narrow ice tracks at record speeds. Similarly, skeleton bobsleighing is taking tiny open sled down the treacherous ice, but face first. In the same way skeleton bobsledding, the luge is going down a slippery track on a tiny sled with no brakes. The luge is one of the oldest winter sports, also founded by Switzerland, as referenced by the luge equipment in history. In this sport, an athlete relies on gravitational forces and reflexes to steer at rapid speeds down an icy track. Next, originating in Scotland, curling is one of the oldest team sports, played by moving granite stones across a sheet of ice, as reported by Curling Equipment in History. Ice hockey equipment in history declares ice hockey to be a Canadian sport. This 6-a-side team sport was originated in Canada and unsurprisingly dominated by the Canadian team for many decades. Also, we saw this year when Canada brought home the gold for their team. Ice hockey has been part of every Winter Olympic edition. The game is about a team trying to put a puck into a opponent player's net by the use of hockey sticks. Skating is the next class in the winter sports, which contains figure skating and speed skating. Figure skating equipment in history noted figure skating as the oldest Olympic Games, as it appeared twice in the Summer Olympics before moving to the Winter Olympics. The Dutch were the earliest figure skaters, dating back all the way to the 13th century. This elegant sport includes a mix of ballet and dance on ice. Speed skate is a paired race against a clock around an oval ring track. Likewise, in a short-term track, athletes compete against each other instead of a clock. Skiing is the last group involved in the Winter Games, which include snowboarding, Nordic combine, ski jumping, cross-country, alpine, and freestyle skating. In agreement with International Ski Federation, skiing involves master speed, endurance, dexterity, and determination. Athletes have many ways to compete in skiing, such as downhill, slalom, jumping, going cross-country distances, performing aerial or mogul tricks. Snowboarding is one of the newest events and has gained popularity because of the half-pipe where tricks are mastered. Over the countless number of years that the Winter Games have developed with meaning, the International Olympic Committee, or the IOC, oversees all events and creates rules and regulations. This organization leads the Olympic movement by managing and bringing value to the 7 categories of winter sports. With 5 continents, the IOC now organizes 204 national Olympic committees. The Olympic Games are growing with sports for all, now encompassing women's events, youth Olympic and Paralympic events. The Olympic Games have earned the reputation of being prestigious. An athlete from anywhere in the world has the opportunity to prove that he or she is a winner, a champion, a victor. It is a privilege to bring home a medal to one's home country. Olympic bring unity and respect among all participating countries. The Olympic Games are majestic because of honorable meaning.